themselves and the league that they are the real deal, and they are a legitimate challenge to the title of St. Helens when we move into the playoffs in 2 weeks' time. Let's go to our commentary team, who will take you through this round 26 fixture live on Sky Sports this Friday evening. Standing by are Terry O'Connor, Phil Clark and Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. Warrington Saints game is always one of the big occasions of the season. Tonight, well, it has that extra ingredient with so much at stake for the two teams. Warrington making sure of their playoff place. Saints, it's about trying to take top spot, or at least a top 2 finish. Saints to get us underway then at a vibrant Hallowell Jones Stadium. Jack Smith, the referee. No wonder the place is bouncing. Saints fans, Terry, probably got more reason to feel bouncy.
Yeah, we're in for an absolute belter here. Look at that, Saints. They were terrific last week in defence. They've started off again. Look at that, Paul Vaughan makes most post-contact meters than anybody else, and they've just took it to the big guy straight from the kickoff. That's the attitude of Saints.
That is a statement of intent from the Saints.
It is, there's no doubt about that. You're going to have to see teammates of the side with possession joining onto the man with the ball so he isn't pushed back. But when you look at Warrington, they've played 6 games against the top 3 sides this year and won only 1 of those. If, and it's a big if, they could win here tonight, they bring the season back to life.
The Jordan Crowther's run giving the Warrington supporters something to cheer about. They are being out-noised so far tonight by the visitors, who have made themselves heard from very early on this evening as Drinkwater gets the kick away and into the arms of Jack Welsby. And there's a reception committee for Welsby, and he's driven backwards.
Yeah, well, both of these sides are going to get into each other. And for Warrington to make some meters, it might be that late offload that will get them that. Penalties like this certainly won't help them. A bit more composure from this Warrington side, and they could be coming into this game on the back of four wins. Last week they got beaten in extra time, a 2-point loss against Leeds, sandwiched in the middle. You can see a frustrated Stephen Ratchford, but they beat Castleford, they beat Hull. They're a good side, but they need to improve their composure. They need to be disciplined and cut out on some silly errors.
They've conceded the first penalty of the game, which allows Saints to resume well inside Warrington territory. Saints have inflicted 2 wins on Warrington already, 2 defeats on Warrington. They've achieved 2 wins. And Saints going into this game on the back of 7 wins in a row. So they are in prime form at the optimum time of the season. Here's Sirinen back in the Saints side tonight after 5 games out. That's a big boost for them. Morgan Knowles resuming at loose forward. Is at prop last week. That's occupied by Sione Matautia. Lomax back on the inside. That was a good tackle. Needed to be a good tackle on Lees. Roby hasn't finished. Neither is Batchelor. Batchelor spinning, bouncing, trying to find his way over. It's good defence.
You're right, Bill. It was Thomas McHale that come up with an absolute belter. Look at this, Paul Vaughan. Look, he scatters James Roby. Then you've got, what, 5 players in? They tell you, look, stop his go forward. That'll help stop Warrington. That's exactly the start they wanted. You can see Josh Drinkwater. He's upset with what's going on, but Warrington, Saints, they'll turn you around, they'll kick you deep, they look to trap you, and meters are hard to come by.
You're right, I suppose they territorially dominate their opponents, the St. Helens side, have done for years, and want to do again here tonight. Warrington need to run with greater determination here if they want to get away from their own try line.
They've got to fight fire with fire. Crowther ambitious, but well collected in the end. Nicholson, though, it went forward, says the referee. That was bold.
Well, the idea was right, and Warrington for years have had success against St. Helens by doing this, shifting the ball inside their own 20-metre zone. In fact, they scored a contender for try of the season earlier this year when they played the Saints on this ground. Matt Duffy with a brilliant try from a play started in a similar fashion, but you have to find your teammate with that pass.
That's it. If you're going to shift the ball, you've got to make sure you'd execute the skill.
So Nicholson's pass didn't find the target, and Saints have possession 20 metres out, and an opportunity to test this Warrington defence deep in their own territory. Roby is Batchelor. His return has really boosted St Helens in this final third of the season. Roby's pass, short ball. Tautia brought down just a few metres away from that Warrington line. Roby spins the ball out to Lomax. Lomax puts a little kick in, and it's well covered by Ashton.
It could be a penalty here for a high shot. Yes, it is. He did a decent job, didn't he, Matty Ashton, to get back in and get hold of this ball. Look, they couldn't break them down. They get the kick through. You can see that Tommy Makins comes over the top. There's contact with the head.
It's a big relief this for Warrington, because they've been trapped, haven't they, from the kick-off. 5 minutes of pain and the anxiety close to their own try line, but this penalty helps them to get out to their own 20.
I don't think Paul Wellens thought much of that decision. Another busy night, and Lee Leopard's already 6-0 up against bottom of the table Wakefield, and Wigan 6-0 up against second bottom of the table, the Castleford Tigers. It's Tom McKaylee. McKaylee having returned from a brief spell back in the NRL with Gold Coast. That's Leon Hayes making his first Super League appearance of the season, the 19-year-old. Only his third senior appearance, full stop.
Well, this will be a big question on tonight with the kicking. Josh Drinkwater, will he do all of the kicking or just some of it? Is there too easy as a one-man target? It'll be interesting to see how Leon Hayes goes when he's asked to put the ball into space.
Well, Phil, that's one of his strengths, that he's dynamic. He's obviously smaller than a lot of the players that he's going to be up against, but his kicking game is a big strength of his.
St Helens returning that Drinkwater kick now. 3 tackles gone. Inside their own 40. Going across the fields. Makinson. Now Lomax. Lomax finds Percival. Percival slips the clutches. Warrington can't afford to do that too many times. That's the 5th tackle. The ball back with Lewis Dodd, who drills a kick downfield when Matthew Russell fields it. Back in the side, Russell tonight after 6 games out.
A big job on for him. He's got to start the set strong along with this man. We're talking about Saints been so good the first few plays. Warrington have got the players that can be just as good as well. You see Stephen Ratchford going for the penalty, then he run into Joe Batchelor because he was called offside, but the ref wasn't kidded.
Warrington fans giving referee Jack Smith some grief.
And again, just a bit of communication then, who's going to get the ball between Vaughan and Crowther.
Darryl Clark with the run. He will be wearing the colours of St Helens next season. And some big shoes for him to fill. The ball with Drinkwater. And James Roby finally hangs up his boots. Darryl Clark taking over. Wellesby, that was high on Wellesby. Crowther, I think.
Yeah, Jordan Crowther. He cops him high, doesn't he, Jack Wellesby? He's one of the best fullbacks at returning the ball. Just a bit of late footwork at the line, just unsettles the back rower, and he just reaches out. Look at him. He hesitates, he steps off his right, then he goes back at him. And again, a couple of penalties in favour of Saints won't help Warrington's cause.
Big weekend of Super League action, some crucial games to determine who's going to get the top spot, who's going to get the top 2, who's going to make the top 6.
Oh, trapped him in, go to.
Not conclusive,
was stuck under the arm.
but it could be pivotal this weekend. And Wellesby almost through.
Well, nice read from Leon Hayes.
Here's Batchelor. Batchelor had Percival on his shoulder. Couldn't get the pass to him. 4 tackles gone. The ball with Lomax.
Great ball movement, brilliant passing from the Saints side. Last tackle.
Not bad defence from Warrington to keep him at bay. Lomax running it. Sirinen will turn the ball over in that corner.
Again, not a bad place to turn the ball over and keeping it nice and simple. Good field position that they've got to shift the ball, like Phil said.
When I watch St Helens, I see them get themselves into a frenzied state when they have to defend in this sort of situation. I don't see Warrington able to do that, or have been doing it in recent games. That's the difference. St Helens gain more metres and concede fewer metres than any team in this competition because they work so hard, like Percival did then, to put their opponents under pressure in this scenario.
Elsewhere tonight, Wakefield had drawn level at Leigh Sports Village. 6 points apiece there. That ball has been spilled. Meanwhile, Wigan 10-0 up against the Castleford Tigers. Saints have the ball back.
6 again, slow.
Another set restarting, a loose offload from Thomas McKaylee.
You can't do that against Saints, especially 15 metres away from your own try line. You can't do it and expect to survive, because Saints will capitalise. Saints will capitalise. Matautia almost finding a way through. Roby, great defence to keep Morgan Knowles at bay after he'd slipped the first man. Leon Hayes involved there. There is Lomax. Lomax and Wellesby with a little step. Again, Warrington just managing to shut the man down. Wellesby just driven back to that 10-metre line. 4 tackles gone. Lomax across the field. Good hands from Dodd to gather that ball, which was dipping down by his knees. Can Warrington survive here? Roby, Lomax, short ball. Sirinen on his return gets the first try of the night. And Warrington do pay the price. They gifted possession close to their own try line, and there was always only going to be one outcome to that. It was just a case of who paid the price, who exacted the price, and it was Curtis Sirinen.
Well, last week against Salford, they made 18 errors, which didn't help them and took them to extra time. The loose offload, yeah, you can say that they've got to play rugby, but they've got to be patient as well over the 80 minutes. You could see that Matty Nicholson is caught on the ground, which enables James Roby just to get up, and you can see Johnny Lomax, he does the right thing. He gets Crowther interested, drink water then. He's having a little look up, but what about that line from Sirinen? Missed the last 5 games, and what a player to bring back the business end of the year.
What's impressive here is, I suppose, the domination that they've had in that opening 10-11 minutes of the match. They've had 10 times as many play the balls in their opponent's half, and eventually they turn that territorial advantage into points on the scoreboard. Very impressive for Paul Whelan's team there. I'd say one of the differences since he arrived at the club and took charge as the head coach is that his side have moved the ball more this season. In 10 games this season, they've thrown over 250 passes. Last week, Warrington only threw 150, so that shows you the average is about 200 in a game. But there's been more ball movement, and done with that level of accuracy and that territorial domination results in a succession of wins that they've had in recent matches.
Mark Percival has got the goal-kicking job tonight. Kicked 3 from 4 against Leigh in that cracking game last time out. Has landed 45 so far this season. Make that 46. And Saints will be very pleased with the start they have made to this game. 13 minutes coming up, they lead by 6 points to 0.
I think the accuracy and the pace with which they're playing has just been too quick for the opponents, and many people thought it might be in the last 20 minutes that Warrington struggled. But I think if you had a run-hardometer, you clearly see that Paul Whelan's turned it right up at the start, and Warrington just haven't been able to cope. You've got to see some sort of fighting spirit though here now, otherwise this game will roll away from them.
They need to impose themselves, don't they, Warrington?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what Saints do. The forwards run hard. I think there was 10 of them that made over 100 metres last week out of the 17, carrying the ball. Go that and couple that with aggressive defence and the line speed that they had, kicking long, trapping them in the corners. They are relentless. Like we said at the start, the business end of the year, they know how to peak.
Get off that ball, Paul!
Here's Batchelor, 2 meetings between the two sides so far. Saints have won both of them 28-6, 24-20. Warrington led 2012 in that game. Matt Duffy scoring a cracking try, but they couldn't keep Saints at bay. Pushed them close. Dodds, try scorer in that game with a kick. Duffy underneath it.
Again, imposing, they roll you down the field, they get to the kick. Again, the line speed, look at them working together. They are relentless. They like to dominate that ruck speed, don't they?
You know, if Warrington's strength is to run from dummy half, I'm surprised they don't do it more often. Darryl Clark, Danny Walker, it's what I think they are good at, what they can be good at. And yet, I haven't seen them do that as a tactic or a policy. You're almost playing into St. Helens' hands here with one man carrying it forward.
Paul Vaughan it is, doing the carry, making his 250th career appearance. Vaughan as Hayes puts the kick in, it goes over the heads of Makinson. And Makinson waiting, and eventually is rewarded.
Well, I said that's one of his strengths, that it's... Do you know what? I'd still take that, though, to kick the ball as far away from my try line as possible. Deal with the extra tackle that you're going to have to go with here. Again, that's just too quick at the ruck. Again, on the back of that, you see Mark Percival. He stands up. There's a third man going back, which is Hayes.
You know, if you've never watched a game before, you said these two teams aren't playing differently. The one in blue is just playing faster.
And they're making ground with ominous ease for Warrington. Wigan 14-0 up in their game. They're not hanging around. Here's Lomax. Wellesby, Percival skips past one and then is involved in a wrestling match with Ben Curry, which Curry eventually wins. But Saints looking threatening again. Here is Matautia. Second row for the last 5 games, named in the front row this evening by Paul Wellens. Dodds, Lomax, Darryl Clark on his back.
One wrench as well involved, Bill.
That's the turnover. Lomax just in a little bit of pain there.
Johnny, are we all right? Play on.
Yeah, he's not a player to stay down injured, is he? Obviously, there's a problem then. There's a problem early on as well with Lewis Dodd over on that left-hand side.
Well, Lomax is back in position. Whack on the side of the knee by the look of things. Here's Ashton.
Well, we saw how far Leon Hayes could kick the ball. An attempted 40-20 wouldn't be a bad ploy here now. He's struggling to get out to the own half.
Oh, he's lost the ball, Paul Vaughan.
Lost on impact with James Roby.
Again, it's just contact, isn't it? First up contact
in the middle
from Saints. Look, they defend tight. Paul Vaughan gets the ball. James Roby's the man who hits around the ball, and Paul Vaughan just loses it. Simple errors cost them last week when they played against Salford. Said before, they made 18 in the game, and probably around 12 of those were in their own 30-metre area.
Paul Vaughan shakes his head. He's made the most metres in Super League this year, the front rower. We've seen some storming charges from him, but he was not impressed there as he put that ball down, and again Saints are invited in to have another go. Warrington spending the opening quarter of the game on the defensive. Here is Curtis Siren, already a try scorer tonight, the former Manly second row. Here's Roby.
Third. Move, Paul, get on your line.
Knowles just shy of the posts, and Roby, lovely off. Well, it looked as though it was going to be, but Drinkwater, the 7. Oh, and then he's lost the ball.
Wow. Well, they do all the hard work to get the ball back, don't they? And Josh Drinkwater, well, he's frustrated with that decision. He thought he did everything right. He's telling the ref to have a little look at the screen, and Jack Smith's not having any of it. Well,
James just have a little glance now at the screen.
Yeah, he just loses that. He's under a bit of pressure, isn't he? He just loses it as he's going to ground. Well, you don't want to see your senior players start acting like that on the back of mistakes. You just got to defend this next set.
It's easier said than done, isn't it?
Because here is Percival. Good work from Matty Ashton with the first involvement in the tackle. Dodd, Matty Lees now.
Move Jordan! Back here, Daz.
Doing some defensive work at Warrington. That's all they seem to be doing at the moment. Short ball, and Sirinen looking for a second try.
They did well to hold him out and prevent a try there. Drinkwater covered 2 or 3 players.
Roby signals, spins the pass to Dodd, and Dodd is wrapped up by Jordan Crowther. 4 tackles gone. Warrington under pressure once more. Lomax, Wellesby, and Percival! Percival finds a way through. And again, Warrington only have themselves to blame, inviting St Helens in. And Mark Percival made the most of the invite to get his 8th try of the season. Warrington unimpressed by that decision to give Saints possession, but they've made the most of it.
Well, they've done well, haven't they, Josh Drinkwater, to intercept the pass from James Roby. They thought momentarily the problem was over, but he dropped the ball as he fell to floor. And you can see the referee then has awarded Saints a chance to attack again. Crisp, accurate passing, quality backline play, and Mark Percival goes over to score. You know, Jack Wellesby was involved in all 4 tries the last time they played on this ground, and his fingerprints are on this one again. A delayed pass, pumps it the first time to confuse Ashton, waits until Percival gets closer to him. It might only be a step, but it's enough to put him in a space to prevent him from being stopped.
Coach Paul Wellens enjoyed the side of Mark Percival crossing for his 8th try of the season. Percival will attempt to convert as well.
Yeah, he's been given the kicking licence back, hasn't he? Tommy Makin's had it for the majority of the season, but after that cup semi-final defeat to Lee, it's gone back to Mark Percival, who, if you think back 5 years ago in the playoffs, kicked at Castleford. I'm taking you back to 2017. Castleford beat St Helens 23-22. And on that night, Percival missed 4 attempts at goal.
Well, he's landed 1 so far. He's kicked 46 and made that 47 for the season.
He's obviously practiced since back then. You know, he's a great player, isn't he, Mark Percival? And they do a decent job, don't they? Jack Wellesby goes deep into the line, he fixes the defender, and that's what you've got with Saints Spine. They're willing to take a bit of a whack, and he double pumps the ball, and your communication's got to be better. Defending your line when you've got a man just running through and Jack Wellesby supplying the ball. Someone's got to say who's getting who and who's going to jump the line, and who's going to put a whack on someone. Going into this game, I was a bit nervous for Warrington. What's the headspace like? The start of the year, would anyone have thought that they were going to be in this position where they could miss out on the playoffs? Well, they're at home, they're up against one of the nearest and dearest. They've got to fight a bit better than that. 12-0 down after 21 minutes isn't good enough for Warrington.
Lee back in front, 12-6 against Trinity. Josh Charnley, the try scorer, 14-6. Cass have struck. Charnley adding to his tally. St Helens, 3rd in the table, equal on points with Catalan Dragons and Wigan. Not a lot to choose in terms of points difference between Saints and Catalan.
Not able to get enough pressure on Dodd there for that kick. Every time he drops it between the 10-metre and the try line. And more recently, Warrington is starting to make mistakes as fatigue sets in and fumbles and errors around the play of the ball.
Have Warrington had a set inside Saints territory?
No, they've not really fired a shot yet, have they?
Well, on our records, they've had 2 play the balls in the opposition half, and St Helens have had 32. I've never seen a more one-sided, lopsided, uneven playing field.
Quarter of the game gone. And it's been dominated. That was a high shot on Ratchford.
He's falling, he's low to the ground.
Tommy Makinson just
Tommy.
going high.
Well, they'll take anything more there at the minute. Stefan Ratchford, as he's falling to the ground, he's hit by Tommy Makinson, and that's all you want from referees, a bit of consistency. Whether people think it's a penalty this day and age or
I don't think he had a lot to complain about, did he?
no, that's what I'm saying. He's falling to the ground, and maybe he couldn't do anything about it because of that. But a penalty's a penalty.
You'll get to see what Warrington have practiced to do here in attack. It's the first time they've had a set in the opponent's half. Got 5 more players to go.
Here is Ratchford, wrestling to make some ground for his side, attacking the end, the Western Terrace, which is populated by thousands of St Helens fans. James Harrison on the field, plays the ball. Here's Matty Nicholson now. Warrington entering uncharted territory so far this evening. Drinkwater lobs it on to Crowther. Here is Leon Hayes, but Hayes can't make any progress. They're quickly up to tackle him.
It's the last tackle.
On the last, and Drinkwater outside of the boot, but that's comfortable for Benison to deal with.
That was a shocking set of 6. There was absolutely nothing in that. It was ridiculous. It started off with a player who I really admire, Stefan Ratchford. He looks frustrated. He gets up, he's shaking his head. Play the ball quick, stop looking for the penalty. On the back of that, they go over, and there's absolutely nothing coming from them.
I think they had one attacking play in which Mark Percival's defence cut down Hayes so quickly that any threat was nullified.
Maybe Saints will show him how to do it. Sirenen playing the ball. Roby, Dodds just hesitated. Quickly closed down on that occasion. Harrison in there. Here is Welsby, Percival, lovely hands. On to Makinson. Makinson stepping in field, but Dufty with the tackle on him. Wonderful slick passing from the Saints. They managed to keep them at bay there, but here is Lomax. Lomax gets the ball away to Bell. Bell on it goes to Dodd. On the last, Dodd with a little kick. And Dufty comes across, and Dufty is bounced back over his try line, and they'll get the ball back with Saints. If you're not going to score, that's how you get the ball back.
Well, last week against Lady Force, 4 goal line dropouts. The short kicking game from so many of the players is up the top draw. And this Warrington side at the minute are really struggling. You can see, look at the options when they go across. Nice little ball again from Welsby. Sets Tommy Makinson free. Good shot from Dufty, though.
Dufty, it's high, but not great distance on it. And Morgan Knowles comes trundling back with it. Inside the Warrington 30. Saints 12-0 up. Here is James Bell, been in outstanding form. He was the player of the match against Lee. Finds himself on the bench here tonight. Dodds. Here is Sirenen, the man who is returning. Offloads it. Ball went backwards. Warrington supporters appealing against that decision.
Tackle 3. Step back, Morgan, step back. Just on top of
They thought it had been knocked on.
Go third.
Knowles plays the ball. Here is Bell, here is Lomax. Lomax with a little step, and across comes Darryl Clark to make the tackle in the nick of time.
Got hold of him. Go 4.
Roby, here is Bell. Bell straightening up and running
Left tackle,
right back into the thick of it.
Go 5.
Roby, the pass is not a good one for a change. You don't hear that said very often. And Makinson has to fling himself on the ball.
Well, he's had enough practice, hasn't he, the old stage yet. He gets this one totally wrong. Johnny Lomax pulls out of it, thinking that maybe Mark Percival can get hold of it. And again, you just look what's going to come now from Saints. Look, they make an error, 10 metres from Warrington's line. They'll press really hard yet again.
They're still in the contest, though. Before, there was a lot of talk about Warrington needing leaders. Obviously, you need leaders on the field, and this is a situation where they need them now. you know, with a little bit of luck, perhaps a bounce to the ball going the way, they could get themselves back into it. It's 12-0. We're at a tipping point in the match. Next points are very important.
Strong run from Matty Ashton that's initiated this set of 6. Here is Harrison, and they are offside, the Saints. And the Warrington supporters jubilant.
Billy, you're right. So what does it come from? A bit of hard work. Like, run as hard as you can. Matty Ashton, Matty Russell can do that. Then on the back of that, you've got Joe Philbin, who can do that. They get a penalty because Saints are just trying to get off that line and just restrict the meters that Warrington are making. You don't have to overcomplicate the game. The forwards have got to do the hard work. They've got to run hard, they've got to land on the front, they've got to play the ball and see what the backs can create on the back of it.
Here's Nicholson playing the ball after that penalty, which has allowed Warrington a sight of the Saints line. Philbin struggling to get to his feet. Here is Harrison flinging himself at the Saints defence. The Warrington supporters set restart signalled as the Warrington supporters urge their side on.
They've moved Dufty to first receiver in that situation, asking Drinkwater to make the bigger decisions out wide. It's going to take a bit to score right now.
Philbin, that's good defence from the Saints to stop him in his tracks as he roared at them there.
Tell you what, he's made a big impact though.
Here is Harrison once more. And Warrington having to do a bit of defending for the first time tonight. Clark's pass, Dufty, and he goes to Drinkwater. Oh, and then the ball is put down by Connor Wrench.
Well, it's a good read, isn't it? John Bennison, Connor Wrench, the young buck. He catches that ball. Anyone who plays against him knows and talks about how strong he is, Connor Wrench. And John Bennison, well, there's a 2-on-1. He's got to make a decision whether to stay on the winger or come in and shut that play down. He gets it right, and he forces that error.
Encouragement, though, for Warrington.
It is, and they've got to get excited here now to defend at this end of the field. They don't have many chances to put their opponents under pressure. Gary Chambers making some notes. They've been clearly outplayed for half an hour, but they're still in the game at 12-0.
Warrington still in the playoff places, just 6th in the table. When you think back to the start of the season, 8 wins in a row. Abbas Miski has already claimed a hat-trick for Wigan tonight against the Castleford Tigers. Ian Proctor busily calculating the top try-scoring charts.
Great tackle there by Hayes again. He's done well in the opening 30 minutes.
There you go. Sharnley out in front at 26. Tom Johnston will be hoping to do something about that tomorrow. Miski is up to 25. Tommy Makinson in action tonight on 22. Liam Marshall on 20. Dodds really get hold of that one. A balletic effort from Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, I think it was.
I don't think his future roles as a fullback, is it?
I'm not sure as a back. Could get on Strictly. I think he'd get on Strictly.
It could have been dangerous though if he did catch that ball then, because Matt Dufty certainly wasn't anywhere near it.
LMS and Strictly. It's not such a mad idea. Here's Darryl Clark. He'll be wearing the Saints colours next season. Leon Hayes' pass to Jordan Crowther. Drinkwater. Dufty puts the brakes on. Trying to get away, scrambles over the halfway line.
I think everyone who's watched Warrington know how dangerous Matt Dufty can be, but they're not finding a way of using his strengths. His brilliant running, his attacking, evasive play. How do you get the ball to your best attacking player at the right time in the right place? And I don't think we've seen that for 30 minutes.
Pushing forward, stand up, though.
That Abbas Miski hat-trick, his 4th in the last 7 games. Meanwhile, here come Warrington again. Bit of optimism in the wire camp. Having their best spell of the game in terms of territory and possession, and maybe in terms of attacking options. As Dufty puts the kick in, that's good work from the fullback.
And to try and build a bit of pressure. They've had a couple of good sets now, haven't they? The last 6 or 7 minutes, they've been pretty good when they get near the line. Duffy look nothing on, so he kicks the ball in behind John Bennison. Welsby comes across to save the situation, but they get another set of 6. Bit more pressure, build confidence, certainly. Well, it's easier playing up this end of the field and defending your own try line. When you've got someone like Matt Dufty, who's been in good form, only 4 tries in the last 4 games, he certainly knows his way to the white line.
Ever-present at fullback, well, ever-present this season. And now then, half-time approaching. Big opportunity for Warrington maybe to give themselves some hope in this game. 12-0 they trail. 3 tackles gone. Crowther will play the ball. Clark, here is Leon Hayes. Hayes for Ratchford, but Ratchford losing ground. Back where he came from. Warrington a little bit disconnected there. Hayes, Clark, Drinkwater, Dufty, on it comes to Wrench, and Wrench the ball on the outside, and what a tackle that is! Welsby's tackle on Matty Russell.
Well, that's outstanding, isn't it? You know, when a ball moves away from you, you've got to keep pushing across. Don't think your job's done when the ball's shifted across. You can see Jack Welsby, look at him, just next to the referee now. As the ball goes out, starts to accelerate. And because of the acceleration and the momentum that he's got, he manages to hit Russell and carry him over the sideline.
That's great rugby. It's what's great about rugby league, isn't it? Good movement to the ball, player trying his best to score in the corner. But a team effort there to defend it.
Matty Russell just thought for a moment that he was in there, but Jack Welsby slammed the door shut. But that's given Warrington hope. Jack Welsby, a dream team player in 2021, 22, potentially 23 in a 3rd different position. He's been wing, he's been centre, could be full back this year in the dream team.
Well, Bill, I know that Warrington are missing George Williams there, but if they can stay down and ask some more questions of this Saints line and surround themselves with options, is this a mistake here? Yes, it is.
Great tackle. That, for me, is tackle of the season from Darryl Clark. He's hit Tommy Makinson, who, I don't know if there's a player who runs harder in this sport than Tommy Makinson. He's hit him so hard the ball's come free, and he's done it at a time when his team needed possession. They've had a bit of joy, they've got the crowd up, they've got some excitement in the way they defend here now, and they've got another chance to attack.
Laurent Fresneau is the assistant coach for St Helens. He's on the sidelines, joins us now. Laurent, this is turning into a bit of a tough game now, isn't it? Warrington have come alive.
Yes, it's been a tough game since the first seconds of the game. So, yeah, the last 3-4 minutes, they build pressure on us. So, for us, it's about sustaining that type of pressure and obviously come back to the half-time, have a good break and reset for the second half.
What about that tackle just now from Jack Welsby, Laurent?
Yes, obviously it's a try saver, so that'll be in the review tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Laurent.
Thank you.
Now then, as Laurent Fresneau said, half-time approaching. Saints will want to keep Warrington at bay, but they've conceded a set restart, and again they're coming to this their right edge. Dodd and Davis doing the tackling. Oh, that was up above the shoulder of Philbin. There was no way he was going to take that.
Do you know what? That pass needed to be better, because let me tell you, out the corner of his eye, he's looking at James Bell. He wants that pass nice and soft in front of him. When you've got someone flying out the line, you can sense it. The ball needs to be better than that.
If you had some drone footage of St Helens in the defence for the last 60 seconds, you'll see them moving very, very quickly. I think that was the big standout moment there. They've lifted their pace of play without the ball.
Well, they've seen off what Warrington have had to throw at them so far.
Get to your feet, Sam.
Here is James Bell, the Scottish international.
3, bend off the ball and square.
And Saints,
Tackle 3, step.
having withstood the pressure, now might have a final flourish in the first half.
No problem in Darryl Clark then.
Clark is still down in back play, just managing to get to his feet. That's the 5th tackle. And will they run it? No, Dodd with a little chip kick over the top. Lou McCarthy, Scarisbrook chasing. Dufty claims the ball and looks at the referee, claiming that he was tackled in the air.
Well, he felt that there was contact in the air, but look, when he goes up and he comes down,
Oh, Ben Davis.
Yeah. Well, it's very close, and it's difficult for the.
He's in the air.
Yeah. Well, he thought he should have got a penalty, but you know, you've got to play to the whistle. And the big thing here now for Matt Dufty is, yeah, you think you got a penalty, but get back over the try line. Let the ref make the decision.
So Dufty launches the goal line drop out into the hands of Makinson, and Makinson comes back towards the middle of the field, then straightens up.
Move! Back in, Jordan. Hold, hold! Go on.
Roby, Sam Royal on the field, and Royal very quickly closed down.
Stand, 2, here. Hold, go 2.
Good work from Crowther. Bell. Sirenen coming back into the middle of the field, and there's a penalty. Obstruction.
Just wait.
A couple of good efforts there from Jordan Crowther. Worked tirelessly from Marker. Again, you can see him looking in, trying to put some pressure on Bell.
Lou McCarthy, Scarisbrook.
Yeah, on Darryl Clark. That's taken out. He just runs into him, pushes him out the way. Right in front of the referee.
First. Move, John! Stay here and all now, boys. Go on.
So Warrington survive. Here is Matty Nicholson.
2. Move, Sam!
Once of Wigan.
James, stay.
The Wigan Academy products. Here is James Harrison. Harrison. 6'4" he is.
First.
Chip off the old block.
Keep coming. Go third.
Hayes with a little kick into space behind Makinson. Makinson, as the hooter sounds, runs that one into the corner. And St Helens haven't had things their own way in this first half. You'd have to say Warrington have managed to turn the tide. They haven't managed to convert that into points, but they're good signs for the wire. They trail at the break by 12 points to 0.
Bill, thank you very much. Jack Welsby immediately running to Tommy Makinson on that last kick, congratulating him, and now talking to Percival as well. He has marshalled everything from the back. An absolutely outstanding performance from one of Super League's greatest stars. What now for the Warrington Wolves? They trail by 12 at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Their playoff prospects hanging by a thread. Mark Percival amongst the St Helens scores. We're going to dissect the first 40 minutes in the company of Paul Sculthorpe and Barry McDermott after this.
Pressure from Frizzelli, lost one. Young had a slip. It falls there for Gula, but Gamble has it. It's play on. He's looking for support. Where's Young? There he is. Young versus Rabiner. Rabiner can't get to him. Newcastle go coast to coast.
What a season he is having for the Knights, breaking their tries in a season record. You will see England international Dom Young take on the Warriors tomorrow. Week 2 of the playoffs, 7:05 on Sky Sports Arena. We expect a packed stadium in Auckland for that one. We're at round 26 of the Betfred Super League. Let's run you through the other scores. League leaders, Wigan are leading 22-6 against Castleford. Abbas Spiski with 4 tries in the first half. 26 in the season so far for the Lebanese international. He is level now with Josh Charnley, who's amongst the scorers in the Leopards' first half that sees them lead bottom of the table, Wakefield, by 12 points to 6. Remember, Wakefield must win. I hope Castleford lose to give themselves a chance of rescuing their season in round 27. Meanwhile, at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, the champions St Helens sitting in third and not giving up on the League Leader Shield trophy. Lead 12-0 against the Warrington Wolves, who sit in 6th and are just about holding on to a playoff place at the moment. Yes, welcome pitchside here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Barry McDermott and St Helens legend Paul Sculthorpe are guests here on Sky Sports. Let's start with you, Paul. A very impressive first 40 minutes by St Helens.
It was very impressive. I think we've seen from the first set what mood the Saints were in tonight, and it's, for me, it's the effort-based areas. You know, it's the speed of line on defence. It's the willingness to push for each other on attack and ask questions, and outstanding.
And punish errors. Warrington coughing up the ball, St Helens not hanging around.
Yeah, I think I'd probably describe that half as scruffy for St Helens. I think when they had the ball, when they needed to do the good things, the fancy things, look at that line there, Lomax in and away, Curtis Surinam, nobody's stopping him, especially Josh Drinkwater. But when they've been good, they've been very good. And when Saints haven't been quite on the money, then I think there's been some scruffy elements to it. Probably Tommy Makinson and them 2 penalties to name but a few, but quality with the ball. When they've had those chances, they've converted them. Just the bits in between for me.
Compare and contrast St Helens' attack with what we're going to see now from Warrington.
I think Warrington, when you're doing so much defending, you're on the back foot. I mean, we only look to the right-hand side of the field for the first 30 minutes. When you get the ball, it's difficult to keep shape. You know, the energy levels are down, obviously, from the work that they're doing. And there, you know, I know they're a half-back down. George Williams is missing. He runs the show.
One front rower passing to another front rower in the last play.
Exactly, and, you know, you've got to get somebody like Josh Drinkwater in there controlling the plays.
Yeah, OK, as that first half came to a conclusion, Tommy Makinson shepherded a kick out here. Just behind you, Jack Welsby ran over to him to congratulate him, to gee him up and say, well done, great half. Welsby, defensively, it's a point John Wells made pre-game, has been absolutely phenomenal.
He's everywhere on the field, isn't he? He turns up where the ball is, and we see him linking up to provide passes and score tries. But he's also got this, his positional sense as a fullback is spot on. But this is absolutely outstanding. I think Ben Davies plays a role because he doesn't commit to the tackle. So there's a replay of the sweeping up at the back for Welsby, but it's this one.
It's Welsby here at the bottom of the screen. When he breaks into a sprint, somebody is going to pay.
Look at the contact, look at the intent. And again, I think Ben Davies doesn't allow Matty Russell to use his footwork, but that's 100% commitment.
Yeah, I think his anticipation there as well. You know, he's a smart player, Jack. He doesn't go too quick, so he doesn't get beat on the inside. He puts Matty Russell exactly where he wants him, and a great shot as well.
He is so driven. You see him out on the field, it's not just this innate ability. He's such a driven individual for a young man.
Yeah, and I've always said it with Jack, he's just a natural player. You know, he's a winner. You know, be it on attack and defence. You know, we're seeing the Saints try the nice little double pump he did with the ball. The man's got everything.
If you're Paul Wellens addressing a team that's got a James Roby in the dressing room, well, I think you're ahead of most clubs in Super League. You marry that up with a Jack Welsby and you're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I think he'd be talking about those elements that we identified. Some of the mistakes with the ball, some of the needless penalties. Look, technically, they're not out of this game, Warrington. They're not out of this game. I just don't know where those points are going to come from.
And on the scoreboard, it's a point Phil Clark made here. The next score in this game may be crucial.
Yeah, I mean, if Warrington win, you know, they're back in the game. The confidence is up. I think we've seen in that last 10, you know, of that first half. And once Warrington start getting a bit of field position, they move the ball, which, you know, the last game we saw here, they absolutely destroyed St Helens' right edge with a bit more movement. And I think that's what they've got to do. Because when your back's against the wall, like it was in that first 30 minutes, you revert to one-out rugby, and that doesn't solve the problem.
They may need to start playing like their season depends on it. All is on the line for the Warrington Wolves over the next 2 weeks. And you can follow the story here on Sky Sports. They currently trail the champions 12 points to nil at the last home game for the Wolves at the Halliwell Jones in 2023. If they get to the playoffs, it'll be away from home. To get there, they could desperately do with a performance in the second half here on Sky Sports.
They never thought it'd be done. The Saints have done it.
The Women's Super League champions, the Leeds Rhinos.
Halifax Panthers are the Super League Grand Final winners.
Yes, October is Grand Final season. Live with us on Sky Sports. You can see the Women's Super League Grand Final, 2:30 p.m. Arena and Mix. Sunday, October the 8th. Saturday, October 14th, we're at Old Trafford for the Men's Grand Final. 5 p.m. on Arena and on Main Event, and on Arena on Sunday. The following day, it'll be the Betfred Wheelchair Super League Grand Final at 5 o'clock. In the men's final at Old Trafford on October 14th, will we see Warrington? Unlikely but possible. Will we see the Saints close out a 5th consecutive title? They're in good position here in round 26 of the Betfred Super League.
Can Warrington survive here? Roby, Lomax, short ball. Sirenham on his return gets the first try of the night. And Warrington do pay the price. Warrington under pressure once more. Lomax, Wellesby, and Percival. Percival finds a way through.
The returning Curtis Sirenan and Mark Percival with the tries for St. Helens. Warrington Wolves 12 down on the scoreboard. So not out of this yet, Barry McDermott and Paul Sculthorpe. Paul Sculthorpe, engineer a way back for the Warrington Wolves.
Well, I think it's got to start with intent. It's got to start with defence. They've got to control this St. Helens attack. And when they get the ball, they've got to ask questions.
Have you seen an urgency from Warrington that suggests their season may be petering out if they do not pick up performances this week and next?
Brian, I'm struggling to see anything from Warren. There's too many one-out carries. There's too much disorganised play from the Wolves when it gets to the back end of the set, where he should be joining in Josh Drinkwater. But listen, this is Saints for me. Saints all day.
Saints with designs on a league leader's shield. A Wigan in the pole seat, or the pole position, I should say, at this moment in time. Addismiski with 4 over the DW Stadium. News of that will filter back to Paul Wellens and the Saints after the conclusion of this one. Let's get back to our commentary team for 40 more minutes of Betfred Super League action. Phil Clark, Terry O'Connor and Bill Arthur.
Well, this game not beyond the Warrington Wolves, but they have not defeated Saints since the 17th of June 2021 in a 6-2 win at the Totally Wicked Stadium, a day when Warrington showed real grit and determination and defensive zeal. They're going to need some of that in this second half, and they're going to have to find something in attack if they're going to turn this round.
Well, you're right. First in defence, they need to match the energy that their opponents have had out of possession. And then in attack, I just wonder whether they can get Matt Duffy closer to the ball in the middle of the field. They've not got the personnel. It's too late in the season now to see if they can move the ball wide and find him in space. In the centre of the field, closer play, offloads, that sort of a style, that might be their better chance of breaking through this Saints defence.
First carries from Lou McCarthy, Scarsbrook and Matautia, clearing the Saints lines.
Stuck in, go 3.
And then Bell playing the ball. Here is James Batchelor.
4. Out, Joe and square. Go, Jordan. Tackle 4, go.
Roby. Here is Lomax. Lewis Dodd. Here is Wellesby. Wellesby trying to find a way through. Drinkwater gets a hold of him. Nicholson eventually finishes him off. That's the 5th tackle.
5. Go. Jordan!
Lomax poised with the kick, under pressure from Drinkwater. Duffy comes racing for the ball and claims it. Gary Chambers, Warrington head coach, on the sideline. Gary, what needs doing to turn this round? Right, we haven't made contact with Gary Chambers yet. We'll go back downstairs in a minute. Here's Matty Ashton. Now we can talk to Gary Chambers. Gary, 12-0 down, it's not beyond you, but what needs doing?
We've got to tighten up on our headers and finish in the right areas of the field, that's it.
Simple as. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Still doesn't answer the question of how he thinks, maybe obviously it's not the opportunity right now, but how he thinks they can trouble St Helens in possession. You know, I hear a lot of coaches talk about, let's complete our set, kick and get to the other end of the field. Well, if your opposition do that at the same level as you, then there's nil effect, isn't there? You've got to somehow create an opportunity to score.
Let's go back down to the sideline and join Jenna.
Yeah, Bill, this scoreline here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium is in fact good news for Leeds and their supporters, because mathematically, if Saints go on and win tonight, the Rhinos could still have the chance to make the playoffs. With a win in the south of France tomorrow, that game, as you can see there, live for you, 4:45 p.m. Sky Sports Arena, and straight after is arguably the game of the round, isn't it? Hull KR against Salford, 7 p.m. Sky Sports Arena, and I've been told by the club that it is almost a sellout at Craven Park. In fact, they've just announced that there are only 400 East End tickets remaining.
Yeah, it's going to be a big evening at Sewell Group Craven Park as Sam Royal loses the ball in that tackle.
Yeah, Jordan Crowther's been pretty strong defensively. He's made 32 tackles in the game and forces the error. I think another man for Warrington who's probably changed the dynamics of when he came on the field was Joe Philbin. He's led the way. I think the game's changed and went in Warrington's favour. The back end of that half, just because of his direct running, the way he was carrying the ball. Was there a problem with Darrell when he went down, or just... Be interested to see if they keep Darrell Clark on the field as well and bring Danny Walker onto the field. Bit of speed around the ruck area on the back of some strong go forward.
Here's Harrison. Oh! Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook came steaming in there. He's there again. 37 years of age and he's still putting it about.
Well, James Bell was well involved, just cut him down, didn't he? Come up with two massive shots last week on Tom Amon from late. James Bell.
There's Jordan Crowther, Warrington, sensing an opportunity at the start of this second half. They need to take it if one comes. Here's Dufty. Lomax, and that'll be the turnover. Frustrating finish to that set.
2 markers in, you've got 3 if he stays.
Well, it's better than some of the sets that they dished up in that first half, Bill.
16-6 Lee ahead at Wakefield. Against Wakefield, and Wigan cruising to victory against Castleford, 32-6. Miskey has 16 tries in the last 7 games.
Oh, wait.
A phenomenal record that is for the Lebanese international. Once to the London Broncos.
Stay here, Matty. Tackle 2, hold, and go.
Just cannot stop scoring. Here's Royal.
Hands away, Joe! Naked Jordan! Go third. Hands straight away,
Here
Joe!
is James Bell.
Third, clear.
Lomax.
4.
That Batcher on his shoulder, but takes the tackle
Tackle 4.
from James Harrison. It's Roby. Bell, Royal manages to offload. This is to Dodd. Matauti, a little burst of pace, looking for some support. He finds it from Roby. Roby still going. Russell eventually managing to stop his progress 10 metres away. Almost went all the way there, Roby. Lomax puts a little kick in. Batcher is chasing, and back to rescue the situation comes Matty Ashton.
Yeah, well, he needed to be there, didn't he? Matty Ashton, like you said, rescued the situation, but Saints cutting free. Johnny Lomax again, he just realises there's nothing on the right-hand side apart from 3 of his teammates. He kicks the ball through, and James Roby, he did it last week against Lee, rolling back those years. Doesn't panic, does he? Takes that tackle, he knows his next job is to get up and play it.
Well, they need all the help they can get right now, Warrington. They've just sent on 2 fresh bodies in Sam Castellano and Danny Walker. They need the rest of them here now. 5 minutes. It's been a fast 6 minutes into the second half.
Dufty's goal line dropout. Wellesby underneath it. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook takes on James Harrison. Down low is Danny Walker. First involvement of the game for him. LMS Harrison clinging on to him. Nothing coming. Sam Royal. About 20 metres away now from this Warrington line. Here's Bell once more. Bell ships it on to Dodd. Dodd to Matautia. Matautia, little kick. Takes them on. Drinkwater on top of him. Ben Davies signals, gets the set restart in return from the referee. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook, puff of the cheeks, and then he drives the ball in. Nicholson with the tackle. Roby. Is Bell. When it comes to Lomax. Lomax, drop of the shoulders, but he is driven back. Cassiano and Curry in there. Plenty of tackles this set for the Saints. Roby fires the pass out to Dodd. Dodd a little step and he's brought down. Walker again with the tackle. Roby though, quick play the ball. Roby, Wellesby puts the brakes on and then keeps it going. No, it went forward, says the referee, and Warrington celebrates.
Well, again, Bell, a bit of energy, a bit of effort. Danny Walker come onto the field. He knew he had to try and just give his team a lift, and he forced that header from Jack Wellesby. And the reaction from it says it all. Look at him celebrate when he gets up here, knowing that he's forced that error. His team needed a lift, and he certainly brought that lift.
Warrington are on the ropes, there's no doubt about that, but they're still in this fight. They're clinging on for as long as they can. And this is a real test now of their character. They need an element of luck. They need to bounce the ball to go their way and find a break or a try, get some points somehow.
6 in the table. Equal on points with Salford. Big game between Hull KR and Salford tomorrow evening, as previously mentioned. Final game for Warrington this season in the regular season against Huddersfield away. Will it come down to that? Saints round off their regular season involvement with a home game against Hull FC, who they'll be hoping to put some points on. FC's season fizzling out once again. Here is Cassiano. He gets a quick play the ball. Philbin.
They lost count.
Bell with a tackle again.
They lost counter-attack. That was the last tackle. It was a quick play the ball. No one had took control yet again from Warrington. We saw it in the first half. Quick play the ball. Joe Philbin's come crashing onto that ball. He's giving it the big shout to Danny Walker, who's just popped it up to him. And on the front foot, they could have kicked the ball, turned the wingers around and trapped Saints near their own line.
Instead, they've turned possession over. Only just inside Saints territory.
And that's getting caught up in the set of 6. As the plays are unfolding in front of you, you just got to keep calm and make sure that you are composed with where you are in that set of 6.
Move, James! Back in, you've got to wait. Hold, go, that's better. 2.
Royal plays the ball. Here is James Bell. Lobs it backwards. It's back in the hands of Sam Royal.
Square up! Oh, Danny, wait, mate, wait. Go.
One of the Saints fringe players having to be very patient, Sam Royal. Unused substitute against the Lee Leopards last week, in actual fact he was. Here's Roby down the short side, Lomax to Percival. Percival trying to fend off the Warrington defenders. Leon Hayes involved. Showing up well, Hayes. That's a nice kick. That's a teasing kick, and Dufty claims it.
Jack Smith tried to work with Jack Wellesby then. He called him that Jack Wellesby was offside, but he went through, he just made contact with him, didn't he? But Matt Dufty goes up. You can see that he's in front of him on the right-hand side of where the man who kicked the ball. And had plenty of opportunities to pull away from that then.
St Helens third in the table going into this game. They have not finished outside the top 2 in Super League since 2017.
It's remarkable, isn't it? When you consider they're missing some pretty impressive forwards. Alex Wormsley being probably the standout name. And it hasn't seemed to have... You wouldn't know, would you, that they're not at full strength. They've played so well tonight.
Now, Matty Lees has filled the senior front rower role.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely stepped up, hasn't he? Ignatius Passy missing as well.
Now then, Warrington rolling forward this set. That's 4 tackles gone. just inside that Saints 30. Here is Cassiano looking to turn and offload. Saints won't allow him that. Needs to be a good kick. Drinkwater lobs one into the corner. Russell will challenge for it. It's still loose. And Saints come up with it. More by luck than judgment.
I can't remember many times in the game where St Helens have been under pressure close to their own line. That's the start of it, isn't it, though? Now they've got to make that happen more often.
It was Ben Davis who came to Saints' rescue in the corner there.
He's a great player, Sione Matauti. I mean, there are very few players who can play centre, second row and prop and look at the level, at the top level that he's done. He's been a great recruit for the club.
Sadly, Brother Peter not featuring for Warrington tonight, which means his ever-present record for the season is ended, and his association with Warrington is ending as well. The end of this season.
Stay here. Go 5.
Here is Dodds. 40. Looking maybe for a 40-20, but it's into the arms of Matty Russell. And Russell, strong returner of the ball.
And again, just a couple of the big Warrington forwards sucking in the big ones here, trying to get back. They had Saints trapped 1 metre from the line. The first 2 players from Saints, they made 20 metres. That's what got them out of trouble, which means that the defence from Warrington wasn't quite good enough at the start of that set. The good teams will get you, they'll turn the screw, they'll put you under some pressure.
It's still a warm, humid night here in Warrington. Clammy sort of conditions as Dufty plays the ball. Drinkwater looking for a gap in the Saints defence, but Roby made sure that there was nothing for him to exploit. On the last, here's Leon Hayes. Hayes gets the kick away. High one into the arms of Makinson. The ball is batted back for Harrison. Harrison over the top. Walker, Danny Walker brought down just short, and that'll be the turnover. How good was that improv from Warrington?
Well, Leon Hayes comes up with a belting kick, doesn't he? And a bit of pressure from Cuddy, passes it back. Harrison over the top to Danny Walker, who's pushing up. And let me tell you, Walker from the bench, along with Joe Philbin, has certainly lifted the crowd and certainly lifted the teammates on that field as well.
How hard do you have to work to score against the Saints right now? The Walker does everything he can. Oh. Is it Wellesby again?
Dodd,
no, it's Tom Makinson.
Yeah, and it's Dodd who's on the receiving end in that collision of heads.
Leon Hayes who put the high kick up. Seems as though take a break in play. Warrington having the best 5-10 minutes. Lewis Dodd, there's a doctor with him. Is it head on head? Head on head on head?
Head on head on head. It's called a cannon, isn't it?
I think so. It looks to be okay, doesn't it? Maybe there is blood coming from the head, but
Danny Walker also getting treatment.
Well, James Roby, what a player he has been. Doesn't look like a player that's ready to retire come the end of the year, doesn't he?
I don't believe he will.
No, up against the man that's taken his position in Darrell Clark, and you just look at his game, his running game, he's a threat constantly. The same is that what they've identified from Darrell Clark. People talk about Darrell Clark, the speed that they've got, and he's one of the best defenders. He knows he's been targeted all his career. The same with Darrell Clark. They've got to come up with the answers, haven't they? And the effort on effort, well, they're more or less identical, just a younger version
of James Roby. Already been taken off, and I think James Roby's about to go off.
Danny Walker is leaving the field.
Yeah, right, it's just Tom Owens.
Darrell Clark comes back on.
Lewis Dodd has just been patched up.
Lewis! So it's just me not getting you, Richard.
He's gone straight down the tunnel, Danny Walker. It looks a touch annoyed that he's had to leave the field.
Talking, Rich. No, I'm not getting you at all.
Lomax has had some strapping applied to that left arm. Dodd is still getting treated. Meanwhile, 38-6 Wigan. Their points difference way out in front. Look at that. Wakefield come back, 16 points apiece at Lee.
And they're keeping the dream alive, aren't they?
They've won a game already this season, haven't they? A drop goal. I'm trying to think. It's 27-26. Might have been against Wigan.
It was.
Louis, we'll play the ball, Louis. Right there, mate, yeah. Yeah, we'll take that. It's all right, Sam. Don't put your leg
And this is what I'm interested in now. What's Warrington got? Can they do a Saints on Saints?
Time back on. No tackle.
Let's see. Because the game started with Warrington on the back foot, with Paul Vaughan being driven back. Set restart. Just too enthusiastic.
Yeah, look, just don't wait for Saints here now. You know that it's going to come off the ruck. They're going to fan out either side, but no, he's lost the ball.
Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook has dropped that ball in the tackle.
And that's it. Get off the line, make contact around the ball, and try and force the error. Look, you just got to stand your ground, and you can see that Drinkwater's gone in. The thing's it Connor Wrench, then that comes in. The number 20, he hits under the ball, forces that error.
I'm just looking at the Warrington players here. Dufty fancies it. The scrum situation, Dufty definitely fancies it. If they can find him, if they can get the ball to him now, moving at pace. That's what he needs, though. He has to receive the ball moving at speed.
Saints braced for the challenge. It is with Dufty. Dufty, little show and go from him. And then the ball with Ashton, and Ashton! Oh, he's bundled into touch. The Warrington defence came across to deny Matty Ashton. Led by Jack Wellesby again.
Again, it's the willingness to work, isn't it?
It's got to be a penalty at the very least anyway, isn't it?
Look at that, nice hands from Stephen Ratchford. And Matty Ashton's giving it absolutely everything. But it's the same man again. The man who has that ability to read the tackle, read the situation, Jack Wellesby.
That's brilliant, but St Helens brought from the scrum too soon.
Right, first involvement of the night for video ref Liam Moore.
It's no tackle, the line decision is no try on field, so we're just looking at the touchline, please. He looked in touch.
Did you get the bit, Liam? I'll be coming back for a full penalty.
Yes, I did, Jack. Yeah, so he's in possession, Ashton. Still in possession. Going towards touch. Takes him towards touch. Keep it moving, please. It looks like he's going to end up in touch. Yes, thank you. Ashton is in touch there, but we're going to go with the on-field decision of a penalty from the scrum, indicated by the referee on field. Thank you, I made my decision.
I don't think a penalty is a strong enough deterrent for teams here. We're going to see this as no try when it eventually comes up on the screen here, and a penalty will be awarded to Warrington, or they can pack the scrum again. But I don't know whether we need to go to a sin bin quicker, because no team is worried about breaking from the scrums on this. They know they get a second chance anyway. So the ball's still in. Is that Joe Batchelor who breaks from the scrum? It's just no worry. Just all get out and prevent the try, and we'll accept a penalty. So
Batchelor's involved there.
Repacking the scrum.
I've seen teams do this before. I think repack the scrum, but you got to hope here now that, well, they're going to have to trap the ball in the scrum and hope that they get a St Helens player, Simbin, but doesn't feel in the spirit of a sport that you would have another scrum to try and get an opponent sent off temporarily. Doesn't feel right.
And it takes some doing.
To be fair, it did when I played.
I will.
But it means that Saints have got to keep their discipline.
Ball in! Ball's out!
And here is Dufty once more. Can they make it work this time? Was Saints dealing with it legitimately on this occasion? Dufty wasn't impressed with the tackle there from Lomax. Here is Ben Curry. Warrington supporters urging their team on. They know that there's still hope for them. It's only 12-0. Can they get a lifeline here, the wire? Here's Clark. Play the ball from Cassiano, not the best. Philbin. Good defence led by Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook there. Clark, how he'd love to get one against his employers next year, and I think he has. Jack Smith reckons it's a try. Did Darryl Clark get that one down? It's a call for Liam Moore now.
Okay, it's tackle 4, line decisions will try, so we're looking to confirm Clark does maintain possession all the way to the line. So he's in possession at this point. Still in possession, going towards the line, hands on the ball, and maintains on the ball. Thank you, I made my decision.
Quick look at that, and Liam Moore confirms what the Warrington fans knew. Darrell Clark has got the try that keeps them alive in this game. His 4th of the season, and against the club for whom he'll be playing next season. And the Saints supporters away to our left will have thought, hey, not bad him.
Well, they'll appreciate that, because the 2 predecessors to him next year were brilliant at it. Kieran Cunningham, none better, and in the early part of his career, James Roby was devastating from that range. It's a good try, and it's one that they needed. Haven't got many other ways of scoring than barging over with determination. And they're hoping here now that Stephen Ratchford can make it 6, and it's game on.
Darrell Clark just back on the field, in actual fact, because of that bang that Danny Walker took. Stephen Ratchford, and he has rarely missed this season. 85% success rate with the boots. 6 points to 12 the scoreline. Still a quarter of the game to go.
Yeah, you're right, 23 minutes to go. They've got a bit of belief now, haven't they? Fades to go one way, comes back the other, goes through a couple of Saints defenders, which was pretty poor on their standards. Look, he wanted to show his worth, didn't he, against a team he's going to be playing against next year. He's got a big 23 minutes now, along with his side to just show everybody what Warrington are all about.
Darrell Clark, a try scorer in Warrington's last home win against St Helens back in 2020. I think we've got all the audio issues on the sideline. And then we'll be back up and running and set for an enthralling final quarter of the game. Potentially thrilling final quarter of the game.
What a finish. What an absolute finish we've got.
David, it is who launches that and almost caught Dufty out. Here's Harrison now.
It's a great kick-off, that. I think sometimes in the sport we don't make enough reference to the accuracy, the depth of a kick-off, but Ben Davies has put it into a deep pocket, and it's making it very hard now for the opponents to get away from the line.
Look, you know what's coming if you're a Warrington player there. Now, Matty Russell's feeling the effects there. The line speed's going to be strong. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to slow you down. They've got the offload away. Look, it's all right if it comes off. He didn't come off. They've lost a few metres. This again now, will it be quick enough, or is it a slow play from Dufty?
Still level at Leigh Sports Village, 18 points apiece. Besides trading penalties. Wakefield, if they're going down with a fight. Now then, Curry, Ratchford. Ratchford puts the kick ahead and out of play. Hoping to give Ashton something to chase, but under pressure.
Young Leon Hayes spotted something then, and he thought he had numbers. The kick from Ratchford under some pressure, and he has that chance again. He'd make sure he gets better contact. But it was on from Leon Hayes. Like I said before, he's a runner of the ball. He looks up, he plays what's in front of him. Probably had the call from Stephen Ratchford over on that left-hand side.
St Helens third, Catalan seconds. Not a lot to choose between them in terms of points difference. And Catalan will be satisfied with this situation at the moment, because Saints aren't racking up the points yet. Catalan's turn to come tomorrow, facing the Leeds Rhinos in Perpignan. See that one, and then you can see Hull KR against Salford. Busy Saturday night coming up. Here's Dodd, here's Matautia, cutting back infield. Saints looking to quell this Warrington resurgence. Here is Bell now. Bell gives the short ball. Look forwards. There's Bell once more. Dodd, Wellesby. Nicholson clinging on to the Saints fullback, managing to stop him. Moses and Mbai. Matautia is eventually tackled, and that'll be the turnover, and Warrington survive.
Well, Paul Wellens doesn't get the points. Knows that this is a different Warrington side than what started the game. And he knows his side now. I've got to really go all out, and James Bell going for a big shot on Russell, who again looking like he's getting manhandled back towards the try line. It's hey boys, hey. We've got a Warrington player. Oh, they get the penalty. Oh, I'll tell you what, there'll be some relief Warrington players there who are lining up to carry this ball. They're going to gain another 20 metres here, 30 metres from a big kick from Hayes.
That's a good kick.
Yeah, outstanding
from the 19-year-old.
Well, it gets him out of pressure, doesn't it? Gets him in that good ball where you want to be, which is in the opposition's half.
The Warrington supporters in good voice. There haven't been that too often this season, certainly not in the second half of the season when it's been a real slog for them. Flying high at the start of the campaign and then running out of steam, but still hoping to finish with a flourish in the top six. Curry playing the ball. It's Darryl Clark to Cassiano. Cassiano shows it and then drives it up to the 10-metre line on the Saints half. Clark, Dufty, Hayes, skipping little run. Hayes ducking under Burrow-esque with that run. Taking him close to those posts is Clark. Drinkwater. Oh, the pass is picked on. Russell put a foot in touch. The pass skimmed in front of Connor Wrench, and Russell managed to collect it, but just put a foot in touch. And a promising situation is wasted by the wire.
Well, Matty Nicholson with the no-look pass. It just doesn't come off, does it? I say Matty Russell, foot in touch.
Do you know what? They're a lot closer in the last 20 minutes than they were in the first 20 in terms of matching their opponents.
Oh.
And Saints are the ones now slightly under pressure. I know they're ahead with a 6-point advantage, but we've completely changed from the hunters to the hunted.
Here is Batchelor now. Good news for Warrington. Danny Walker has passed his head injury assessment, will be able to return. Here's Knowles. Cassiano stopping his progress. Nicholson in there as well. Moses and Mbai, and here is Dodd. Just on his own 40, drills the kick down the middle of the field. Dufty sets Matty Ashton away, and Ashton is through. First line of defence. Percival with the tackle, and now Matty Russell.
And they've got a big lift now. Paul Vaughan back onto the field to finish off the game.
Saints rocking a bit here. Here is Vaughan. Just over the halfway line. Warrington fans sensing a chance here. Here is James Harrison. Four tackles gone. Saints looking to take some of the steam out of this Warrington side, and Darryl Clark with another great run. He caught Saints napping there.
That's that restart, James
Set restart, and here's Thomas McKaylee. And Saints are on the back foot. They're on their own try line. McKaylee held up just short of the line. Clark gets the pass away. Here is Vaughan. They know all about Paul Vaughan's try-scoring ability. 2 tries last time we saw him on home territory. Clark fires the ball out to Dufty. Drinkwater, on it goes. Oh, Connor Wrench with the pass, and it's snapped up by the Saints.
Wow.
They've not got the skill at the moment to do what they're trying to do by passing the ball out. They haven't got the personnel. They're trying to play like St Helens play and many other teams play without having the setup to do it.
You know, that was on though, that wasn't it? He catches this ball, Wrench.
Well, lesson learned from last time when Russell was bundled into touch or put a foot in touch.
He was already in touch, wasn't he?
A let-off that is for Saints. Now here's Lomax. Wrench with the tackle on Johnny Lomax. Here's Lewis Dodds. Dodds gets the kick away before James Harrison descends on him. And it's Dufty who picks it up. And Dufty is danger. So too is Ashton. Ashton is quick.
Oh, we've got to finish here, haven't we?
We've got a great game.
Ratchford looking to get to that wing again. Just inside the Saints half, he is tackled. On the last, beg your pardon, second tackle gone. Three gone this set. Here is Thomas McKaylee.
Well, they're not struggling to make meters anymore, are they, Warrington?
Saints are really rocking. They go down to their left-hand side. Curry. That is the fifth tackle. Danny Walker scanning. Hayes will kick cross field. Connor Wrench challenging, and the ball is still loose. It's knocked on.
Oh, they've turned it up, haven't they? I'll tell you what, and this is what they were missing in the first half, because they're showing that the fans are right behind them, and the atmosphere is outstanding. Davis under pressure, loses the ball, and Warrington now, a great kick again from that young man, Leon Hayes. He's done a decent job defensively as well, but everyone talks about George Williams and his kicking game, and that was going to be a miss. Well, he's not missed a beat for me, Leon Hayes.
He's playing for North Wales Crusaders last weekend against Oldham in the playoff semi-final in League One. Here he is now, growing in confidence.
That's a set restart.
Batchelor, set restart it is, signalled by referee Jack Smith.
Is that worth anything on play one, though?
Here is Harrison struggling to get to his feet. Hayes, Curry, bouncing back in field, still going Ben Curry.
Morgan, no. Morgan! Leave him, step up, got it there.
They're giving a few penalties away now, St. Anne. They are under pressure. Morgan Knowles with a high shot on Ben Curry.
It's going to be a penalty.
Coming back.
Time off.
Runs them lines, doesn't he? Hard lines. A bit of a grab round the head.
You say first contact's on the shoulder. Sir.
Well, it's nothing more than that, is it?
It's just a penalty, that's all it is.
The Warrington supporters want more than that.
Just speed to Morgan, the first contact is on the shoulder. It's then gone into the end. He needs to be really careful the way
Jack
he comes into
Smith
tackle.
explaining to Johnny Lomax the thinking.
Now, Johnny, I'm not talking to you now in
Players
this
help St.
position.
Helens, though. Giving him about a 60-second rest here.
Back on, concentrate. I can't hear you, William.
There's no benefit while we're waiting for replays.
Come on.
Here is Vaughan. Legs driving Paul Vaughan.
James, get out of that room now!
Walker. Crucial moments of this game. Walker's pass. Here is Jordan Crowther.
Moses out now!
On loan from Wakefield for these final weeks of the season. He's made a bit of an impact as Crowther. Walker quickly fires the pass away. Hayes, Curry. Oh, the ball is intercepted. Makinson was in the way. The old fox put himself right in the firing line and snapped up the pass, and Warrington hopes evaporates.
Although this is better line speed. Well, Ben Curry, he just couldn't get the ball to Matty Ashton, could he? And it was a good ball from young Hayes to find Curry in space.
Move together, Warrington! 10-0, Tom again.
Gary Chambers knows that's a golden opportunity.
Well, look at this line speed. This wasn't here at the start of the game.
Benison felt that.
Yeah, they're trying to be physical, aren't they?
Hold.
They're struggling for meters. Look, there's 9 meters in 4 plays they've made.
Lomax. That's the 5th tackle. And Dodds trying to find space for the kick, does well there. He's been hounded down by Crowther. The ball sits up for Dufty. The crowd urging Dufty to run, urging Dufty to cut loose.
Yeah, in that broken play is good, isn't he? Again, Jordan Crowther putting some pressure on Dodd. And Matty Russell just getting no change out of those defenders.
Oh,
he loses the ball.
Has knocked it on.
He's wrestling to get his arm free and he drops the ball.
He is, and he goes into contact and he's powerful.
That's Steph, he's just wrestling to get his arm free.
But as he's going through, he's trying to wriggle out the tackle, he's trying to get to ground. And you can see that there's contact around him. Look, there's hands on that ball. Do they have a little tug at it? Yeah, there's a tug from Bell.
James Bell.
Oh, there's a tug from James Bell. Well, that one's gonna miss, hasn't it?
Let's get in. Numbers in.
Matty Russell's been around the block. He's a very experienced campaigner on his 6th Super League club, and he knows when he's been done.
Ball's in, ball's out.
Here is Welsby. Welsby. Crowther. Come here, he says. And Jack Welsby doesn't like being treated like that.
Release! Paul! Come on, Paul!
Keeps his patience there. Did well. But Saints looking to quell this Warrington revival. They haven't scored in the second half. Is Moses Mbai? Here's Lewis Dodd, and Dodd with a little step.
Away, Jordan!
Inside that Warrington 10 now. Haven't been down this end of the field for a while, have Saints. They've been doing so much defending. It's Morgan Knowles. Saints fans appealing for a high tackle on their man. Moses Mbai, his Lomax. Trying to get the pass away.
Held!
Welsby.
Move, tackle 5! Stay Tom.
Ashton brings him down. And Mbai, change of direction, trying to find his way through. They drive him back.
Oh, good defence, desperate.
And that's the turnover.
Desperate to stay in this game with that. Well, they know that the clock's against them, behind on the scoreboard by 6 points. But some heroic defence then that's kept them in it. Matty Lees, well, he's gone a hunting then for Ashton.
Would they take a risk here and kick for the winger? St Helens compressed the defence. Benison's 15-20 metres in now. Near the centre field, it's not an option.
Yeah, I think they've missed the chance now, Phil.
Here's Nicholson, Connor Wrench, stuttering back in field and bundled into touch.
The head went down from Matty Nicholson. As soon as he threw that ball, he knew that he made it really difficult for his wingman. Then
it's moments like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
that set them apart.
Well, sometimes you just got to take your medicine, and Nicholson, he passes the ball to Wrench, and Wrench is just manhandled, isn't he? Benison just holds him up along with Dodd, and Matty Lees lends his weight. They're under some pressure here now.
Full time at Wigan, 48 points to 6, so that's done their points difference a power of good. It was pretty good to start with. And Lee Leopards, that's latest score, 19-18 they lead. It's a Gareth O'Brien drop goal that has made the difference between those two. Who else? Mind you, if he doesn't get you, Lachlan Lamb will. Now then, here's Dodds.
Jordan away! Come on, Tom, here.
Still time to go in this one. Set restart signalled, and maybe this is the time for Saints to settle this. Warrington have really stepped up in the second half, but they haven't been able to convert that.
Will he set up for 1 point here, will he?
Dodds, he's hanging back. Set restart again. It's with Dodds. Here is Welsby. Matautia has dropped the ball. And the Warrington supporters enjoyed that.
I thought that Lewis Dodd was, just as the ref called set restart, I thought he was setting up in the middle of the pitch to get the set restart. He just pushes out to the right-hand side of the sticks. They make the mistakes, and the shake of the head from the coach.
And I reckon if Paul Wellens is worried about one player for Warrington, it would be Matty Ashton. He's got the pace to score from anywhere on the field, given the chance. I know St Helens have got some quick players. Got to find a way, Warrington, of getting him involved here now in the remaining 6 minutes.
6 points to 12, the scoreline. And here is Connor Wrench. Warrington coming from deep in their own half with Matty Russell. Really punches above his weight, Matty Russell. Stocky winger. Thomas McKaylee now. Good leg drive from him over the 30-metre line. 3 tackles gone. And now they will kick, looking for a 40-20. Welsby comes across, and Welsby backs the ball back in field and keeps it safe, and then gives it to Benison.
You know, he's practicing them in the warm-up. Danny Walker kicked a few of them. And again, if any of them have got anything in them now, you just want to hit with everything that you've got. Well, it's lung-busting game, this. They were involved in a game last week as well, weren't they? Which was really difficult. They looked exhausted after that game against Salford. Just got to go through it again.
Just hearing that at Lee Sports Village, it's 19 apiece. Luke Gale has brought Wakefield level. That looks as though it's going to go to golden point extra time there.
Move! Square markers!
Wouldn't have seen that one coming. Lomax with the kick. Dufty. Lomax is back on his feet after that challenge. Here is Matty Ashton.
Yeah, some of these players are starting to do it tough, aren't they?
Into the last 5 minutes, Terry.
Yeah, Johnny Lomax was struggling in the first half. He was impressive the first 2 games of the year against these 2 sides.
I think that Wolves need more ball movement, though. Runs from dummy half from the fastest players necessarily in the middle of the pitch isn't going to help. As Wrench puts some feet on.
Wrench gets away from the first. Wrench has got some support. The pass. Oh no! The pass was on for Nicholson.
There's a penalty here. Player been pulled back.
Was Nicholson held back?
It would be a sin then, wouldn't it? Isn't that? That's a very attacking situation to pull him back. He's not going to consider a card.
John Benison.
Jack Smith is taking advice. Where's Nicholson?
Come here, mate.
I'm not sure I could see that.
Pull him back. You don't need to do it.
With the
10 minutes in the bin.
Yeah, he's in the bin, Phil. He's right up to your commentary.
That was 30 metres here. Is that close to a penalty try? No, it can't be a penalty try in that situation. It's a penalty and a sin bin.
Benison
Given that he nearly gets
sent to the sin bin then.
We've got to finish on our hands here. Great feet from Wrench. Can't find the pass, but with this penalty here and a kick to touch, it should be in the St Helens 20-metre zone very soon.
He saved the try there, Benison. Do you know, if he doesn't pull him back there, he gets on the end of that pass, doesn't he?
Such an innocent-looking lad, John Benison, 20 years of age. He's the villain of the piece there. And Saints have got it all to do. Paul Wellens, stony-faced on the sidelines. His side down to 12 and having to withstand a really rousing finish to this game from the hosts. It's Philbin now.
Oh, wait!
Walker has options. Crowther. Ben Curry. Not getting any momentum so far this set. Warrington. Saints managing to keep them at bay. Hayes, on it comes to Crowther. Crowther to Drinkwater. Drinkwater to Dufty. Dufty, on it goes to Connor Wrench. Wrench puts the brakes on. And there's obstruction by Warrington. And they'll bring them back. And the threat has gone.
Time off.
Well, you can see when they shift this ball out.
So let me explain.
I think it's Nicholson that goes in, but
I'll explain to you now,
Lewis
Jordan.
Dodd makes the
What it is
decision
he's
to
running
tackle him.
outside shoulder.
Look,
He's then
he
stopping
tries
the
to
grip
get
and he
through,
goes
he
through
tries
that
everything to get through. It's Lewis
No,
Dodd
he's
that
got to
goes
get
in
through on coming
and
inside
tackles
shoulder.
Nicholson. I think that's play
No,
on.
Well, the ref's given obstruction, and he was in front of the man with the ball.
He is
in the line of sight, isn't he?
He tries to get through the line. It's Lewis Dodd who can push off him. He engages with the defender.
Either way, Warrington's opportunity is gone. And you think maybe the opportunity to snatch this game or take it to Golden Point extra time has gone. But it has been a stirring second-half performance from Gary Chambers' side.
And that's what he wants to see. He doesn't want to talk about the opening 20 minutes, the opening 25 minutes.
Hang on a minute.
I thought that was one-on-one. I understood the thinking. The ref has to make an instant live call. And he thought there were two players involved at the point of the ball being ripped out. Is it Philbin? It's out at that point.
He's touched it.
Oh, and then somebody has said something. Philbin, I think, has voiced his displeasure.
Well, Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook will be relieved. Losing the ball again there.
Let's go.
Jack Smith has marched Warrington a further 10.
Would you go for 2 points here?
Time off.
Like, you go for 2 points, you'd go for it, wouldn't you? You wouldn't.
Back on.
Well, like, they make a mistake here.
Keep coming, Paul.
Like, it's dangerous.
On his foot.
They could have let the clock go down. They could have just wasted a bit of time, set up.
Are you thinking of an Ashton interception here? That's what he got when they last played here, wasn't it? A Wellesby pass.
Last minute of the game. Saints clinging on, you've got to say, to a 12-6 lead. And taking their time. Paul Vaughan inviting Sione Matauti to get to his feet a bit quicker. Here is Morgan Knowles. Knowles, good drive from him towards those Saints fans who'll be relieved as much as jubilant when the final hooter sounds. If they see this one out, and they will do, they'll celebrate. Moses Mbai has sealed this one. Moses Mbai under the sticks. His first, second, I beg your pardon, but what a crucial one that is.
Well, they were tested right to the end. Warrington, a couple of chances. The second half performance was much improved on the first, but Saints doing what Saints do best. They play to the whistle. They carry on. They're in tight, tough games constantly. And look, Joe Philbin strips it. Look, the call was that it's 2 men in the tackle. They get match for 10 then for back chatting to the referee. Centre of the post, both the markers go one way. He just opens it up, doesn't he? Moses Mbai fakes to go to that right-hand side, and right in front of those Saints fans, Saints go on to celebrate. Big performance from them.
I think most people play sport for memorable moments, and Moses Mbai has had a fantastic one that he'll never forget. Scoring now in front of that army of St Helens support will be a moment that lasts with him forever.
And Percival tags on 2 more points. The Saints supporters jubilant. Paul Wellens satisfied, but he knows his side have been in a real battle in this second half. A really gallant performance from this Warrington side, who came close to turning it round. Just didn't have that finishing finesse like their opponents had. Saints didn't get the shed load of points they were hoping for, but they have won this one, and Gary Chambers will rue the missed opportunities that his side had in the second half that has maybe cost them victory in this game. They've been beaten tonight, Warrington have, by 18 points to 6.